Welcome, everybody, to the Design Studio 1 of the Synthetic Landscape Lab at the Institute of Urban Design at the University of Innsbruck. The faculty team this year is composed by myself, Professor Claudia Pasquero for Landscape Architecture, Dr. Marco Poletto, Maria Capsova, and Erini Somoku. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, this is Marco. I'm a co-founder and director of Ecologic Studio. I'm very happy to be back in the master program this year as well.
Hello, I'm Maria Koptsova. I'm research associate and doctoral candidate at the Synthetic Landscape Lab, Institute of Urban Design. Good to have you here online.
Hello everyone, I'm Erini Somoku. I have graduated from the Bartlett School of Architecture and I'm working as a computational designer for Ecologic Studio.
The brief for this year is titled BitBioBot2, following and evolving last year's brief, Material Virtualities.
The current global health crisis has almost instantly pushed most human relationships into the virtual world, and this year's studio will be no exception. We will be connected by dense flows of data, a vast amount of them, in fact, and these flows will almost entirely replace all other perceptual stimuli, including visual, spatial, and pheromonal one. Yet, this uniquely deprived condition, and especially so for architects, may offer unique opportunities. First of all, it will force us to realize how cyborgian we actually are, and how indiscernible our material and digital worlds have now become. And second, and perhaps more interestingly, it will bring to the center stage once again the profoundly material nature of what we still call cyberspace. Because if ubiquitous computing is actualizing a new kind of cognitive noosphere, then it is actualizing profound material transformations that involve the structures of our brain, of our bodies, of the spaces we inhabit, of the cities we live in, and of course the ecosystems we belong to. So we could therefore argue that artificial intelligence is now everywhere. As such, it is no longer sole domain of computer science. Since it involves aspects of planetary communication, interspecies interaction, and most of all, spatial and material organization, it is now fundamentally architectural.
Cybergarden, distributed virtual ecosystem for accelerated coevolution of human, animal, microbiological, and digital organisms. This will be the structure we will work with. The aim of the studio is to design a collection of radical urban design vision that we call cyber gardens. These will be entirely virtual and yet profoundly material. They will index a specific material transaction in real-world cities that will be relayed by remote sensing technologies. They will evolve their own form of artificial intelligence through accelerated coevolution with real living organisms and will be relayed directly to our brains as designers in 3 dimensions by means of collective web-based data that we will explore through VR platform. Like never before, we will design, code, inhabit, but especially co-evolve with our architectures. In that sense, architecture has never been bone embedded in a material process, shaping the evolution of the studio.
And to achieve this goal, we will explore the notion of synthetic landscape, a design philosophy that encompasses all processes and systems, human, animal, microbiological, and digital, that are currently accelerating the transformation of our urban sphere and form an ecosystem we live in. Our research will question the role of artificial and natural agency within the design processes through the implementation of biomachinic algorithms based on GAN techniques. Style GAN variant of generative adversarial networks will be used in the research projects as a method for extracting material organization principles from collected database for its further implementation in volumetric models. The generative model in the GAN architecture forms a latent space, which merges real depictions through a set of artificial propositions, which opens up a possibility for new design strategies. Our cyber gardens will embody scenarios where human, animal, biological, and digital systems are interfaced to form a novel, self-sustaining assemblages. We will develop strategies that encourage the emergence of distributed systems rather than centralized ones, of transcolor systems rather than zoned ones, of heterogeneous cyborgian systems rather than technocentric ones. Our final proposals will open up a new type of interactions between different types of agents and form a new biotechnological ecosystem.
Design methods, synthetic landscape, generative adversarial network, algorithmic drawing techniques.
So this year we will be introducing new techniques, new drawing techniques, but we will build them into a consolidated method that we tested already last year with you and in other schools such as the Bartlett. Everything starts from a site, from the analysis of a site, which we will conduct through remote sensing techniques, especially through digital elevation model, OpenStreetMaps material, and satellite monitoring images. From these data sets, we will then deploy algorithmic drawing techniques to translate them into visual patterns, into drawings such as the one you see here. Through them, it will become evident how infrastructural elements and landscape components effectively interact or interfere with each other. And that's where this new tool set will give us the possibility to begin to conceive the project as the coevolution of these two elements. As you see in the images here, no single final definitive proposal emerges, but rather a simulation of coexistence and coevolution.
Another tool that we will explore in the studio will be CycleGAN. The CycleGAN algorithms belong to the class of machine learning frameworks involving an automatic and supervised training of image-to-image translation models. In this case, for example, the two actual input images belong to two different domains, the urban actual satellites and urban terrain analysis. The model is trained to detect and project the materiality of the satellite image to the morphology of the landscape patterns. This mapping produces a future view for the integration of the city to the landscape and topos based on research data resulted by the need of the distribution of the networks.
This type of technique will allow us to interface our intelligence as designer and human with non-human form of intelligence, such as the one of the slime mold that you see here, therefore biological, as well as artificial intelligence, to tackle very complex site afflicted by the phenomena of the Anthropocene and the byproduct of our urban infrastructure, such as the one you see here, where the student imagine a condition in 250 here, where the marshland of London, the estuary of the Thames, will be completely flooded. Which kind of new species will emerge? What kind of cohabitation can we imagine between birds, bacteria, and human in a flooded world? Design outcome, the cyber garden.
So as we said before, the studio will be virtual this semester, but for that reason, we decided to take the virtual condition as the dominating paradigm of the studio. And we have built a virtual studio for us to share and to inhabit with the students of the unit and also with the larger community of architecture. You see the images behind me of the biome that we have designed and that will host all your projects as they evolve in the making. And this is something quite important. We don't see virtual reality here just simply as a let's say, way of presenting the project at the end, but rather as a new immersive space to develop the project, to share our conversations and tutorials. So you will have access to this space through your computers, through your phones, through this link here, but also there will be a special VR headset in the lab for individual access and tutorial.
This will be a way to both explore the studio space, but also the three-dimensionality and the spatial quality of the project. The project that we deal with will be, again, prototypically looking at Anthropocene landscape. So landscape like the one we see here in Tallinn, where there is a coexistence of an ecological ornithological park together with a wastewater and treatment plant. Can we reimagine the relationship between ecology and infrastructure? Can we imagine the landscape being able to remetabolize some of the pollutant of the city, but at the same time creating habitation, livable unit for both human in the city, as well as bacteria and birds, as you see in the example here in Tallinn, as well as the example for the photosynthetic tower in Linz that you see here in detail. At the end of the year, traditionally, we see our project stage in an exhibition through drawing a model. This year, we will rather stage the exhibition virtually, as we can see in this video here of a research center exhibition that we had in Tokyo, and it's now possible to visit in virtual reality, either through your phone or your headset. So our end of the year presentation will be an equivalent, will be a virtual tour that each of the students will entail with a guest to be able to appreciate and visit their project. So thank you for following. We hope to see many of you in the next weeks and to work with some of you. For any question, please feel free to contact us at our Innsbruck or Ecology Studio email. It was a pleasure to talk to you. If the others don't have anything to add, we will say goodbye. Thank you.
Looking forward to this new semester. Goodbye.
See you at the biome. Bye.
Bye, guys.